Parkour and assassins go hand in hand, or at least they used to. AC1 had intricate parkour that contained an entire vault system never once mentioned in the tutorial. The same parkour system was then refined throughout the Ezio trilogy until Assassin's Creed 3. The animations of AC3 were great, but the parkour mechanic itself was dumbed down, now catering towards a more cinematic feel, but sacrificing control and precision in the process. Then Unity rolls around and overhauls the parkour mechanic completely, now adding parkour up and down for ease of traversal, flashy animations, and an overall smoother experience. However, it wasn't smooth. It was janky and floaty. Goodbye absolute control, hello jumping in a general direction and hoping for the best. Then came the RPG trilogy parkour system. My oh my, was it bad. So bad in fact that some people even avoided using it at all costs. It retains the lack of precision from its predecessors, but now does it in an even uglier way. Now, judging by what we saw in the Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer, albeit not a lot, it's looking that the parkour mechanics will be the same as Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. But what does that mean for Mirage? Does this mean we won't be able to chain parkour across buildings in the city? Does this mean we won't have any control over where we want to climb? Or does this mean Ubisoft have made better parkour routes to cater for the system? Perhaps it's all of these things, and perhaps it's none of them. Now, I think the parkour in AC Mirage could go one of two ways. Number one, it plays exactly like the last 3 games. Sure, it's fun to climb viewpoints and it's helpful to assassinate from ledges, but it's an overall mess. Or number 2, there will be slight quality of life improvements for the mechanic, and the city of Baghdad will be crafted in a way that you'll be able to climb, run, and jump from one side of the city to the other without touching the ground, feeling accomplished and satisfied. Okay, so that's the scripted part of the video over. I kind of want to speak my mind at this point, and honestly, I don't know how to put that into writing, so here we go. The reason I think it could go one of two ways is because what we're seeing kind of says it all. It could easily be just like the last few games, a big disappointment and not what we wanted to see or expected to see, or it could be that plus slight improvements from the games we've had before. I think either way it will be a major disappointment to most people, because pretty much everyone was expecting AC Unity style parkour because the developers alluded to that in a big way. The fact that we're now not getting this is kind of a slap in the face. Personally, I never had high hopes for the gameplay of this game, especially the parkour. I thought it's going to be what we've expected in a bad way. It's going to be just like Valhalla, because at the end of the day, it was originally a DLC, so I didn't expect it to be too different than what we've already got. That being said, I was a tiny bit hopeful, or at least I thought there might be a few improvements, and that could be the case. Maybe there will be improvements. It might not be visible here because we're only seeing a few seconds of parkour, but perhaps when we're actually playing the game ourselves, it will feel easier to control. There will be a greater jumping distance so you can actually glide from one building to the other, or at least just climb from one building to the other without having to drop down first. Maybe overall it will be refined. Do I have hopes it will be that? Not really. I don't think it will. I think it will be the same as Valhalla's parkour. And then again, in the leaked information we got from Jonathan a while ago, he did say that it will be a more refined version of Origins parkour system. So I don't quite know what it really means by that. That could potentially be that an insider saw the footage and kind of drew that conclusion themselves, and it's actually just the same as Valhalla's parkour, because realistically the parkour in the last 3 games have fundamentally been exactly the same with a few differences in animations. Maybe when they say they're doing a more advanced version of Origins parkour, they're kind of just taking those animations and working on the animations where the system kind of plays the same. When I say slight quality of life improvements for the mechanic, I'm talking more, as I briefly mentioned, further jumping distance, so you can actually get from one building to the other or something to something else, A to B, without having to go through A.1, A.2, A.3 until you get to B, if you know what I mean. When I jump from one building, I want to be able to land on the other building, or at least catch onto the wall rather than have to fall on the floor, run across the street and then climb it again, because my jumping distance is so non-existent. The city as a whole, I think will be built in a way that parkour does feel better compared to Valhalla and Odyssey and Origins, because it's a dense city, there's a lot more to climb, so there will be a lot more parkour opportunities, like chaining parkour across buildings like we see in the trailer, these new totem pole things which tell me that there's probably going to be no jumping distance because otherwise he could just jump from that building to the other. But overall, I think it will be more enjoyable to do parkour in Mirage compared to the RPG games. Again, just because the city is more dense, there's more to actually do, there's more to actually climb, so of course it's going to feel better. If you're really going to look into the actual system itself, I don't think you will see much difference. I really don't know if we'll see any difference. It's got to the point where this kind of is what parkour in Assassin's Creed just is now. It's not parkour, it's just climbing now. There's no parkour system, it's a climbing system. That's kind of what it was in the last few games. It looks like, at least with chaining parkour across the buildings like we're seeing in the trailer, they're bringing back more actual parkour rather than just climbing. So it is a good sign. And again, there will be parkour, but instead of parkour based on a parkour system, it's going to be more parkour based on a climbing system. Do those two mix? Will it work? That is yet to be seen, and I'm hoping we're going to get the answer to that question on June 12th when we see gameplay, and I will be streaming my live reaction to that Ubisoft event, so tune in. So overall, I don't have any hopes for the parkour in Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's a shame. This was their chance to make it better, make it good, and maybe they have done that, but from what I'm seeing, I'm not sold. But I am open to being wrong, and I hope I am, because I love Assassin's Creed, I want the best for it, and I want a good parkour system, so please Ubisoft, prove me wrong. Now, overall, I think the gameplay will be fun. I'm not doubting the game is going to be enjoyable to play, and I know I'm going to have a great time regardless. I'm still going to enjoy climbing viewpoints, I'm still going to enjoy the game as a whole. It's just parkour seems to be a letdown to me, especially seeing we truly believed it was going to be more like Unity. Now, one more thing I will add as kind of a side note, Unity was fun to play when it came to parkour, but it wasn't perfect. Far from it. It had many flaws, and if they were to copy the Unity system for Mirage, I think they would have to do a lot of ironing out and refining. Maybe that's what scared Ubisoft away from using that parkour system again. It flopped so hard the first time that they're just afraid they're going to mess up again when so many people are divided within the AC community as it is. Now, that's just a guess, a theory, but who knows? I feel like Ubisoft probably want to play it safe, they want to make as much money as they can, and to them that's a gamble that isn't really worth it, maybe? Listen, we'll always have the older games, we'll have the Ezio trilogy, we'll have AC Unity, we'll have the games that we love. Nobody can take that away from us. It's like Game of Thrones, we'll always have seasons 1 to 4 and we can just forget about the later seasons. We can forget about those. We'll always have The Witcher 3, but we can forget about Blood Origin, you know? It's like that. No one can take away the things that we love, and if we don't like something, we can ignore it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's get a discussion going and build that AC community. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have some extra thoughts that I haven't mentioned? Let me know. If you're new to this channel and you want to stay up to date with everything Assassin's Creed Mirage, feel free to press that subscribe button so you stay up to date with everything to do with the game. Now, for returning viewers, you've probably noticed I haven't shown my face in the last few videos compared to the other ones where it's more of an edited experience. That's just because I've moved house recently and I'm still just sorting out where to film, how I'm gonna do it and stuff like that. So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to bear with me with some more commentary style videos until I can figure out where I'm gonna film, and then obviously I can get in there, throw on the shades, throw up the hood and have a bit of fun. Now that sounds very sus, but let's all right guys, make the fire of understanding, guys. I love you soon, but fuck the Templars though, fuck the Templars. Goodbye.